Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q Radio. Yeah, that's right. Here we are again on this Trash Talking Tuesday, and we've got lots to talk about. We're going to be talking about some stuff that, who knows, maybe people won't like, maybe they will. Doesn't matter to me. Either way, it's my opinion, not the opinion of anybody else. That has anything to do with the station. It's my opinion only. And I don't know what the heck this big thread is. Have you heard some weird sound? That's what that was. I don't know if the video guys would have picked that up, but the radio guys probably did because I heard it in my headphones. Anyway, we're going to get into the show in a second here. I want to talk about the weather. This is show number 631, believe it or not. Yeah, we're going to be headed to show number 700. Hopefully, Peter Dichter's back in town before we get to 700. He can actually get in the studio. He's been here for 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. 700 is the natural progression. So I hope he's here. Today, though, he's in Naples, Florida, enjoying the weather. And I'm here in Niagara Falls at 16 degrees when I get up at 4:30 this morning. Barometer reading 29.39. It's dropped 20 points since yesterday, and it could be bringing in some snow or something. Usually, when the barometer starts dropping, we get inclement weather. We'll see what happens. But the good thing is the humidity is sitting low at 56%, which means if we get any kind of precipitation at all, it might not be that much because there's not a lot of humidity in the air. Although, if you believe there's streamers coming off the lake, then I guess that doesn't much matter because it picks up humidity off the lake. Before we get into the show, I want to just talk about my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And we look at the weather out here and we know darn well what's coming. So it's important that we're proactive and when we deal with our car. It's a machine. Our cars need constant maintenance. They really do. They need to be taken care of and loved. So how do you do that? Well, you get them into Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. You let Ken Hunter take a look at your car. Make sure it's running tip-top. Make sure your battery's all charged up. Because winter weather really does have a bad effect on cars, this cold weather. You have to worry about your antifreeze, your oil. You got to make sure that your defrosters are working, your heater's working. You want to have those snow tires on if you're used snow tires. You want to make sure your battery's up to snuff so your car starts in the morning on those cold mornings, like 16-degree mornings like now. It's just about maintenance. That's it. And it's a pay me now or pay me later scheme. There's no getting around it. I mean, you can put it all off, but eventually you're going to have to get it done. And if your car breaks down and you got to get it done, first of all, you might not get it back right away. And second of all, it's going to cost you more. You're better off to be proactive, get it maintained. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Ken Hunter will do that for you. You just have to give him a call. That's it. Give him a call. Make an appointment. Get in there. Be proactive. Get your car ready for winter if you haven't already. It's not going to get any better. We're into a routine right now where things are going to get worse as we progress into January and February. Get it done. Don't be foolish. Wild Bill's Auto.ca is where you go to check out his website, make appointments, see what he has to offer, see his services. He has a full body shop. If you get in a wreck, you can get your car fixed and back to you in showroom condition. You can't beat it. Support our sponsors. They support the show. Tell Ken Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And while you're on the internet at his website, don't forget, you go to my YouTube page. Go to the YouTube page, Paul Lemire, 4973. Check out the videos. I have all my videos on there. Subscribe. We're at 198 last time I looked. I need 2 more to get to 200. I want to get there before Christmas. So get in there. Join up. It costs nothing. Thumbs up, comments. Yeah, it's all there. I mean, all you have to do is do it. So it's going to be interesting. See what kind of comments I get on the shows and today's show, actually. Now, while you're there, like I say, subscribe. And if you have a comment during the show, you can text me on this little puppy right here, thanks to Gary Wilkins. The number 289-994-7560. That's it. You can text me a message here. I'll get it on the show. 289-994-7560. I got a message right now, and this is a good one. We'll go through the messages before we get into the show. So prices are down. When is Doug Fraud, I love that, going to update property values to current day? He has to do it one day, but seems to have lost his spine. MPAC is a scam property, should be based on size, not an imaginary value, maybe $2 a square foot, and for land, different values, and have a tiered system. So I know what John's talking about here. That's John Ringo Beam. He's always on the ball here. And what he's talking about is the market value assessment. And we were supposed to have a market value assessment in 2016. That's when the last one was. We were supposed to have one in 2020 and 2024, but we never had the 2020 because of COVID, and they never called for one now. But the day is going to come when they're going to do a market value assessment, and it's going to happen eventually. My property right now on my income, on my tax bill, when I get my property taxes, is valued at $278,000. Now, you know darn well that $600,000 is the market value. I mean, you're not going to buy a house in Niagara Falls for $278,000. Let's face it. So we're waiting for this to be handed down, and this is a big hammer if it does get hammered down. We haven't seen it yet, but one day it's going to come down, and yeah, it's not going to be funny when it does, because it's going to cost us more money no matter what anybody tells you. So, yeah, be ready for that. Good point, John. Good point. We're always watching these taxes saying, oh, we got to pay 6% more and all that. That's nothing compared to if they do a market value assessment. Now, I think Chris Regas once told me that they can only raise the market value assessment by a certain amount. I don't know if it's 20%, 30%. They can't raise it like right up to 600,000. They can't. They're not going to raise it to that. They can only go 20% or 30% at a time, something like that. I'm not sure. I have to check that out. But at the end of the day, it is a concern for everybody because, hey, guess what? We're going to have to deal with it. Eventually, we are going to have to deal with it. And John's right. John Ringo Beam is right. You know, this is just the start. This is just the start. We've got more to deal with when it's all said and done. So thank you for that comment, John. I'm sure I'll get more from you during the show. And the number again, I'll give it to you, 289-994-7560. So Meteor Crater report nothing. Barren wasteland. We're 40% owners of nothing right now, but it's supposed to be going up. We'll see when they start. I'll let you know. I'm on it. Keep up the good work, Niagara Falls taxpayers. Why am I saying that? Well, because the Penguin, aka CAO Jason Burgess, actually responded to a letter to the editor in the review. And I'm sure he listens to the show here. I think he does, because a lot of times they talk about stuff that I talk about. It could be coincidental, maybe not. Either way. I did respond to his posting on Facebook one time. He never responded to me, but he certainly talked about what I asked him in this letter to the editor, response to a letter to the editor sent in by Fred Audibert. I actually talked about that letter to the editor before. And what I said to his post on Facebook was, if there was more transparency and honesty, it would settle a lot of questions that members of the taxpaying public have about what's going on in the city. And in this letter to the editor, he gave us a way to see where every dollar of the casino funds go. Said the ultimate transparency, it's there if you bother looking. I mean, it's there. And I said, well, that's nice to know. I mean, nobody ever heard about this. We never heard about this. He's never said it in a city council meeting that I know of, where I would have gone there before. So if you want to go there, Just Google OLG Money City of Niagara Falls. Yeah, you Google that, it'll bring you to the page in niagarafalls.ca. You can find it in there if you search around enough, you know where to look. Sometimes it's tough to find stuff in there. You'd use the search button. That's the best way. But I didn't know this even existed. I didn't even know this even existed, but I went there. Of course I'm going to go there. You know that. I'm going there for sure. Well, he told us the truth. There is a page like that, and I did Google it, as he said, and after a minute or two, I found the exact listing he was talking about, the exact page he was talking about. A review of every dime received from the casino since 2013 and where they spent the money. Yeah, he's playing fast and loose with this one because, yeah, it's transparent if you can find it. It's transparent if you even knew it existed. But nobody's really made this aware, made me aware of it anyway. Maybe John Ringo Beam knows. He usually wanders through the niagarafalls.ca pages and finds interesting things. I don't do that so much because I'm talking about everything all over the place. But yeah, it's there. Thanks for letting us in on it there, Jason Burgess. But I looked through it, and there's still discrepancies. I mean, I looked at 2024, where we received a total of 18,471,000 or $417,556, 18.5 million from casino revenue. And you go down to expenditures, and it says that we had 17,210,703 of disbursements that we used the money for. So where's the other $1.2 million? We had 18.5 million come in, 17.2 million accounted for. Where's the other 1.2 million? Now, I mean, these are the city numbers, not mine. I'm not making this up. So I can only assume that the 1.2 million was squirreled away by the squirrel in reserves. I would say that's probably where it is. I don't know. It's unaccounted for from what I can see, so I would think it went to reserves. Now, our taxes went up 5% last year, right? 2025, our taxes went up 5%. That 1.2 million, if applied towards taxes, could have dropped our tax rate by almost 2%. Every $700,000 represents 1% of a tax decrease or increase if we're short 700,000. So where'd it go? Why didn't they drop our taxes by 2%? Put that against our taxes. Not only that, there's another confusing entity here, and that is fiscal year ends. The casino's fiscal year end is March 31st, which means the new year starts April 1st. They run April 1st to March 31st. The city runs January the 1st till December 31st. So Q1, quarter one for Niagara Falls is January, February, March. Quarter one for the casino is April, May, June. There's a crossover there. So you're juggling both. You have to figure it out. You can't, they're not the same. So you have to figure it out. You can't just look at the numbers from one year to the next. You have to figure it all out. So that's another confusing thing that maybe people don't know. I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I do. So even though it is transparent, it may not be as easy to figure out as you think. Going from year to year, going back to 2013. It's 15 years worth, or 12 years worth of data. Regardless, these numbers are just entries in a ledger, and I've explained this before. They're entries in a ledger. They're not written in stone. The whole 20 million can be spent on whatever the council wants. Now, yeah, they've made 5 rules on how they're going to spend it, but that's not law. It's nothing that comes down from the province on how they have to spend it. That's just what they made up to try to have a rule so that they spend it properly. And that's fine. It's good to have a set of rules, but remember, those rules can be changed at any time, number one. And number two, the money can be allocated whichever way they want. For example, the Penguin says that they put $5 million towards the taxpayers to decrease our tax bill. Okay, that's $5 million. And if you do the math, 20 million minus 5 million is 15 million. They got the 3.6 million for the police. We got to get rid of that as soon as possible. That leaves the 11.4 million. What they need to make it easier for us, if they want, is to put 3.5 million more in. And that would give us a zero tax increase. They would still have 7.9 million to blow on anything they want. So helping us out to get us to zero, although they're going to give you a bunch of baloney and gaslighting, it isn't that big of a deal. $3.5 million out of a $200 million budget to help us out, taken from the casino revenue. Hey, why won't they do it? They don't. They'd rather give us a bill for 6% more. That's why. It's not that they can't do it. Don't ever think they can't do it. If council wanted to, they could do it. They make the rules. They're just entries in a ledger. You don't have to be confused about it. They're moving money here and there and giving you a big song and dance and pie charts. They mean nothing, because the bottom line is, here's how much revenue, here's our expenses. When revenue matches expenses, we get a zero increase. If revenue's 3.5 million short, put it in from the casino, we get a zero increase. That's how simple it is. No matter what they tell you about reserves, that's just fluff. That is just to confuse you. And I don't care what they say down there. They can make a big case and give you all these reserve funds and that and provincial rules and baloney. No, it's all gaslighting. We just don't have a council that'll tell them, no, take 3.5 million, put it there and give the taxpayers a 0% increase. We could have done it every year since 2013 if we wanted. Seriously, we could have. If they lived within their means without the 20 million, we could easily have a 0% increase, but they don't. They keep spending and spending, and they'll just keep spending and spending. If they got 50 million from the casino, they would blow it all. They would blow it all, believe me. That's what our city council does. They're very good at that with harebrained schemes, like these $17 million walking trails and $25,000 concrete ping pong tables. You can go down the list of money they've blown. There's a whole list of it, but I digress, because what's the use of talking about it? We're never going to see it corrected. Not with this council, anyway. These guys have been there for 20 years. The new ones are useless. I mean, seriously. But it's easy. It's really easy. You get the council in there that's willing to work with it and do it right, and believe me, you'd see a lot different. That's all I'm going to say about that for today. Go to that website, go to the city website, look for that page, and you can decide yourself what's going on. And that was that. I said it was OLG Money, City of Niagara Falls. Google it. It'll take you to the page. Look it up for yourself. See the discrepancies. See how it works, and go from there. The easiest way for me would just to be to tell the Niagara Regional Police, you're not getting your 3.6 million anymore. That's it. It's over. We're paying you a lot of money to patrol the city, patrol all of it, including the casino area. That area, Fallsview, was patrolled by the police before we got the casino. They want a cut of the revenue. That's all this is. A cut of the revenue. They want a cut of the take. It's no different than the mob whacking up illegal money. We got $10,000. We whack it up. We get 30% to the boss, 10% to the captains, 10%. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay. This looks like good news. We're going to find out how good it really is when it comes down to it. We finally got the official announcement, and this is a big move by the province. I've been talking about Tourism Minister Stan Cho and his announcement at the beginning of the year that he wanted to turn Niagara Falls into Vegas North. And he talked about doubling the number of tourists that come here from 13 million a year to 25, 30 million a year. And we got the big announcement yesterday. Edsel Ford and his band of politicians came to Niagara to make the big announcement. And of course, all our muckety mucks were there. So Niagara Falls is getting a huge injection of casino attractions, hotels, and transportation to get all the tourists there. We're going to get 30 million people here, 25, 30 million people. Minister Cho said he wanted to double tourism to the Niagara region. And yesterday, they committed to doing just that. The Premier had a message to all major casino operators around the world. Consider Niagara. He said, and I quote, "We're going to put that out there and tell the big casinos in Vegas we're serious. It's happening. Get on board. Come and put a proposal in." Wow, that'd be pretty cool. I hope some of these hotels will be able to put small casinos in their hotel, like the ones like the Americana out in Lundy's Lane there. Small casino in there that locals can go to and enjoy, and tourists can go to too. That'd be pretty cool, rather than having to go down the main tourist area for guys who like to go to the casino and have some entertainment for a night. I think it would be fantastic. That'd be a great little spot for a little casino action out there. Ford went on to say, "Come and tell us you're going to build $1 billion hotel with attractions, cinemas inside, and live theater. That's what we're looking for. The casino itself is good, but it's everything else that goes along with the casino." And I kind of like this. Las Vegas has really, really lost its way. It's headed south. It's headed south right now. It's not good in Las Vegas right now. It's because they lost their way. They forgot about the $20 gamblers, the punters who come in and have some entertainment for a night with cheap food. Well, I shouldn't say cheap food. It was good, inexpensive food. I was there in the 80s, 70s, and 80s in Vegas, and it was good. Go in there, have a good time. Even if you lose $100, you walk out feeling like, geez, I got my money's worth. I had dinner, I had free drinks all that time. And you got enough for breakfast in the morning, 99-cent breakfast and all that. The small guys were the ones who built Vegas, and they just lost their way. They want high rollers. They don't want anything else. You go to Vegas, and it's not cheap anymore. You're paying $20 US a drink. They've lost their way. Now, if you can tie these casinos in with transportation, I mean, that would be fantastic. The twinning of the Garden City Skyway is what Ford talked about, the widening of the QEW into the falls, and of course, the one jewel in the region, the Niagara District Airport, which they want to expand to include international tourists. I think it's a fantastic idea. Junkets to Niagara Falls. But they're still facing challenges, even if they do that. If Ford handles it right, like I said, he might have something with new casinos. Vegas is on the decline. Of course, the elbows up Canadians don't want to go to the States. If he remembers who built the casinos and who made Vegas what it was back in the day, we may have something going on here. Casinos, entertainment, cheap rooms, affordable prices. I mean, you can't beat that. Can't beat that. Get the corporate out of it. Put back in the customer service and people who know your name and they know your drink when you walk in. That is the best way to attract and keep people here. And they'll stay for a couple days. When asked about what he thought of the Mohegans' handling of the current casino, he said, "Mohegan is dragging the puck." They have to make a decision. Either they're on board or out. I'm tired of screwing around with them. We have to build Niagara. We have to invite other casinos in, and they, the Mohegan, better come to the table. We're working with them if they want to work with us. We're doing everything we can, but we've been working with them for what, 2 years now? Enough is enough, and we're moving on with or without you. I'd prefer to move with you, but if you don't move, we're going on. Simple as that. And, the Mohegan got a raw deal. The Mohegan got a raw deal. They were set back. They buy the casino, 9 months later, they were shut down for a year and a half because of this COVID scam, the scamdemic, I call it. They never made a dime for a year and a half, yet they kept all the employees on, kept all the employees' benefits on for the employees. They did a lot. And they made no money. They spent over $1 million to put up these barricades and everything the provincial government demanded. And then they were told they couldn't open. Meanwhile, across the border, Seneca Niagara Casino was going full blast. They had no problem. They had they had the partitions up. People were wearing masks. They had sanitizer all over the place. They stayed open, no problem, while we're shut down here. They got a bad deal, so I'm not blaming the Mohegans, but the problem now is they're trying to make it up, and now they're having problems. Comps have been cut. Parking has been upped. Anymore, they tightened up the machines. It's terrible. It's terrible. Am I going to blame them? Sure, why not? Everybody can blame them, but they got a raw deal. So, and that was from the Ford government with who was that dope? Who was that dope running the show? The guy dressed like a chick, health minister. I can't remember the goofball's name. And Moore, and what's the guy from the region? Haji, whatever his name was, I can't remember him. They gave everybody a raw deal in this province. So they were set back big time. But that doesn't mean that they can't come back. I don't think they should have awarded it to the Mohegan anyway. That was a mistake. It should have went to Great Canadian Entertainment. They're the specialists at running casinos in Canada. If you've ever been to the one at Woodbine or Flamborough or any Mohawk, if you've ever been to those, you'll know that Great Canadian Entertainment do a hell of a job running casinos. They should have got the contract in the first place. So I know Doug is talking about the Mohegans and they'll get on board and all that, but a lot of their problems came right from Doug Ford in the provincial government. But at the end of the day, all this is good for Niagara. We'll see how long this all takes to come to fruition. I probably won't be alive to see it. They've been going to amalgamate the region and do us a favor by getting rid of these levels of government and the duplication. That was going to happen in 2019. We're at 2026. It still hasn't happened, and we're still getting hammered as taxpayers by them. So we'll see. I may not be alive to even see this come to fruition if it even happens. I think that expanding the NDA will help bring more tourists to the area, but we still need a cheap and quick way to get passengers around. That's the problem here. We got to get passengers around. We got to move them around. Even if they open the Niagara District Airport, where's the transportation to get them into Niagara Falls? We need something that's ultra modern. An elevated rail system, my monorail system. That's what we need. Whisking tourists from airport to tourist areas throughout the city, down to Bender and Clifton Hill, down to Fallsview. Now that would be something special. That's what we really need, an elevated train system. That's what we want. That's what we need. Some way to move people. He talked about an electric train running 3.8 kilometers through Queen Victoria Park. Well, that might be a great idea. It's elevated. It wouldn't take up any space really, and you could still move people around, cars around, whatever. But we'll see what happens with that. But that's what they should be putting in, a pretty intricate monorail system. If they're going to spend the money, let's do it. Let's do it right. If you're going to do it, let's do it right. You want to go big or go home. So big things are planned for Niagara. Now, if only our city council could make it work. Can they make it pay off for us, the taxpayers? We're going to be putting up with 25 million people in this city, on and off for the whole year. Now they want to do it all year. We're going to be putting up with it. Our roads are going to get hammered twice as much as they are now. We're going to have more congested streets. We don't have the infrastructure. It's going to be crazy. And we have to also, to be able to help these 25 million tourists, we're going to need more people. We're going to need more employees at the hotels and at the casinos and at the builds, the $1 billion complex he wants to build with sky wheels and everything else. So we're going to have more people in this city. Who's going to pay? Who's going to pay for it? That's where our city council comes in. We shouldn't have to pay a dime. If we're going to do all this stuff, it should be the people who are coming in and making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. Any casino revenue should go to us, the taxpayers. This is something they're not doing now. Are they going to do it in the future? Well, Peter Dicker had to say, he said, if they don't, we're going to get hammered even worse. You think 30% over 5 years, 6 years is bad? We're going to see that every year. No, I think that's overdoing it maybe, but the warning is there. The warning is there. I mean, right now, there's no reason for this city to be crumbling, to have decrepit roads and have homeless on the streets, have crime that's high, and paying pretty big property taxes for the area. So are we headed for a golden age for Niagara Falls? Or promises made, promises broken? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned for that. You're going to have to stay tuned for that one. Now, I had a question from Al McKay from the Property Taxpayers Alliance regarding how I thought it would affect Niagara Falls taxes. And I just told him the same thing I just said. It all depends on city council. How good of a city council are we going to have to deal with this? I mean, I say we should have had zero increases since 2013 if we had the right city council. I've done the math for everybody. It's pretty simple. You look around the city and you say, is Niagara Falls any better off with the 20 million per year from the casino than other cities in the region that get nothing? Do you think we're better off? Look around. You know, not far. Just take a look. Look around. Look around your neighborhoods. Look around your roads. Look around your tourist areas. Look around your downtown. Look around the train station. Are we any better off with that $20 million? I don't think we are. The answer is no. Our taxes go up every year. In the last 4 years since this council has been sitting, it went up by 25%. What have they done for residents? I mean, in those 4 years, they've received close to 80 million of revenue. Do our streets look better? Are there less homeless? Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. You tell me. You tell me. You comment. If anybody's running for city council, take notes. These are good talking points. Of course, to follow budgets and news on everything property taxes, you have to join the Property Taxpayers Alliance. That's what Al McKay represents in this area. You got to go to their Facebook page and join up, or go to their website, propertytaxpayers.ca. And Al McKay, he's the guy in there. He has blogs in there about regional council budgets, city budgets, St. Catharines budget. He talks about them all. It's a treasure trove of information to keep you informed and up to date about what's going on. Just do it. Go and join. You have to be informed to vote for the people we need to take care of our hardworking taxpayer dollars. And I'm going to talk more about that later on. I'm going to say what we need on city council to make this successful. I'm going to tell you all about it as we move toward the election. So stay tuned to the show. Like I say, subscribe. Come on, join up. You're going to get a ding whenever I'm on here. I drop a video every day around 3 o'clock. And we're going to be approaching that, and we're going to be talking about that subject from now until October of 2026. We have an election coming up, and we got to get the right people on city council, especially if Doug Ford's plan is going to come to fruition and us taxpayers are going to benefit from it. It's so important. It's so important. I had another interesting comment from Peter Dichter. I was talking to him this morning. He's down, like I said, in Naples, Florida, where it's 80 degrees and sunny out. Not so much here. But he said, you know, you really can't trust these politicians. And I agree with him. There's always something going on. He asked a good question. Ponder this, everybody. Is he using Niagara Falls for his buddies who he gave the green belt to and then had to pull it back, take it away from them, and now he's just found another place for them to make money? Is Niagara Falls going to be their playground? Are they going to do the development here? All the guys who wanted to develop the green belt, Doug Ford gave him the green light. Then he said no, and they're all mad. I mean, of course they were all mad. Did he say, "Listen, relax, don't go crazy. I'm going to give you something probably even better"? And his gift is Niagara Falls. Billion-dollar hotels, hotel complexes, casinos, development, housing development. Think about it. Think about it. I never thought of it. Is this just a replacement for his Greenbelt fiasco? You tell me, leave comments and let me know. Thanks for that, Peter. I never thought of that. But it could be just another one of those. And Niagara Falls just happens to be the place where it's going to go. How about that? Interesting. You can read more about this whole thing that Doug Ford was talking about, the big move, I call it, and his plans in the review. Thanks to Ray Spiteri and the great article about all this. We'll see what happens. Okay, I've got to get to my second sponsor. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And I don't have to say this every day. I love pizza. You know that. Everybody knows that. And you know what I find valuable when I go to a pizzeria? Consistency. That's the thing I really do demand. I want it to be a good pizza all the time. And how do you get that? Well, you have recipes that you use all the time. And you teach other people how to use the recipes so that you have a consistent product. And you can't beat 40 years of consistency from the Mancini family recipe. They've used it for 40 years. They know what they're doing. Beautiful crust, beautiful sauce, a spectacular cheese blend, brick and mozzarella. Put on the pizza in the right ratios with the sauce. You got yourself a winner. That's all there is to it. Now, you add fresh toppings to that, it makes it all the better. They also have a full menu: fries, poutine, steak and cheese poutine, chicken parm sandwiches, panzerotti, you name it, they have it. They do run the whole gamut of food. You can't go wrong. You're going to find something you like. Even if you don't like pizza, you'll find something else you'll like on their menu. I guarantee it. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. They have a second location in the northwest part of the city, up on Thoroldstone and Kayla Road, so you people up in that area can enjoy great pizza too. 905-374-2222. Get your pizza today. Come on, you know you want one. You know you want one. Give them a call today. They use Dine, Skip, run the whole gamut of delivery services, and they deliver themselves. Half hour, fresh to your door. You can't beat it. Call them today. Tell them Paul from Your Voice sent you. They'll be glad to hear from you. Believe me. Okay, so that was big news for Niagara. What else is going on in Niagara? Well, nothing. Christmas is coming up. Getting ready for the Christmas rush. As soon as the kids get off school, they're off 2 weeks. Other than that, the usual crime, shootings, that kind of thing. Team Canada National Junior Hockey Team is holding its training camp this week at the Gale Center. If you want to go down and see the future stars of the NHL and the World Junior teams, yep, you can go over there before they head to the World Juniors. I think they start on December 26th in, I don't know where it is, somewhere. I can't remember. I think it's in Wisconsin? I don't know where. I don't know. I can't remember. Either way, they're having it. I don't watch it, so the only guy I'm watching is Michael Hage, Canadians prospect, doing fantastic. I keep an eye on him. And if there's any others in there that are Habs prospects, I'll watch them. I think Bryce Pickford from the Western Hockey League might be in it too. Not sure, he's doing really good over there. Another Habs prospect. Everyone is through their budgets now. Basically, Niagara Falls has its capital budget done. Niagara Lake, Welland, St. Catharines, Grimsby, Pelham, they all have their budgets done now. We're just headed to the operations budget in January. We still do it in two parts: capital and operations budget. Most cities consolidate them into one number, one budget. Um, just as headlines scream, 5 police officers exchanged gunfire with a man and they killed him in Welland. SIU investigating. We see a dozen firearms seized from Boulder in Port Weller, among hundreds seized by CBSA at local border crossing during 2025. So we have the cops shooting this guy that was firing off a gun at him. And then we see them seizing all these weapons at the border. It doesn't seem to be working. This guy had a gun. Big dilemma. We're taking them off the streets and they're still getting them. And we also have another kind of dilemma, and that's with crime at epidemic levels. Do we need more or less police? More or less of a police budget? They're wrestling with that, sending it back to the police to say, raise it less. We need 2.7 million of savings. And my thing is I don't think the police need more money, to be honest with you. I don't think they need more money. They may even need less. What we need is tougher laws and tougher judges that go by the rule of the law. They've got to put these crooks away once and for all. Forget about bail free, letting them out on bail or letting them out bail free. Cashless bail, they call it in the States. Forget about that. When these guys commit a crime, put them in jail or deport them, depending on where they're from or what their situation is. We take them and put them in jail and they're not on the street the next day committing more crime, then our police will have less to do. It's a pretty simple formula. Put these guys away and the police have less to do. They don't have to arrest them 12 times before they send them to jail. Stop crime before it happens. And that's by locking these criminals up once and for all. Get tough on immigration, tighten the immigration laws, get rid of the illegal criminals that are here and illegal aliens that are here. That's it. And our cops won't need so much money. I mean, the biggest thing is our laws. That's the biggest thing that's costing us taxpayers. They just don't get it. I can't account for weak judges or anything else. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's move on. Nobody else is going to tackle this today. I guarantee you, not too many people are going to talk about it, but I will. I will. I will. And what's going on out there? Well, the left-wing loonies are losing their minds over this one. And I think Trump does this on purpose to bother them sometimes. Trump released a statement on Truth Social talking about the meathead, Rob Reiner, and his untimely demise at the hands of his drug-addicted son. One thing, Nick Reiner, his son, 32 years old, was one time homeless due to his refusal to return to rehab. He made it personal, Nick Reiner. He went up and he stabbed his father and mother to death. Yeah, it's ugly. It's gruesome. Not nice. Up close and personal. It's not like shooting somebody. This was rage. It was up close. It was personal. He wanted to them to know what he was doing. This is not something normal children do to their parents. Let's face it. Gruesome double murder. He was killed at his Brentwood house, along with his wife, over the weekend, murdered. Suspect in custody is their 32-year-old son. That's true. And they were all seen at a party at Conan O'Brien's house arguing on Saturday night. That's interesting. Let's see more about that. Now, everybody has heard this news by now. Reiner was a big supporter of everything left. Reiner was Michael Stivic. And of course, Michael Stivic was Rob Reiner in All in the Family. And Michael Stivic was Rob Reiner, and Rob Reiner was Michael Stivic in real life. He absolutely hated Trump. From the day Trump came down the escalator in 2015 to announce his candidacy, Rob Reiner has been on his ass. He's laid a barrage of disparaging remarks on every TV show. Rob Reiner thought Trump was Archie Bunker. And if you ever watched Rob Reiner play Michael Stivic, that show wasn't about Archie Bunker. It was about Michael Stivic. This was the left's transition from the old guard Republican, patriotic, uh, conservative view to the new liberal view. While Mike Stivic stood up for every minority, every downtrodden person, from draft dodgers to gay rights, all the things that Archie talked against. He disparaged Archie Bunker because he didn't agree with anything Archie believed in. I mean, those views Archie Bunker had are archaic today. They're terrible. But at the time, they were relevant. But Michael Stivic was on the left-hand radical side of that. And all he did was yell at Archie. He was a freeloader, Michael Stivic. He married Archie's daughter. He yelled at Archie all the time about his views on life while he sat there freeloading. Archie went to work every day. He slugged his butt off to make a living while this freeloader sat there contributing nothing because he was going to school. Yeah, Rob Reiner was the real life Mike Stivic. Watch the show, you'll see what I mean. He's always yelling at Archie, always degrading him because he doesn't agree with Michael's point of view, his liberal point of view. Life imitating art? Absolutely. Oh, he called Michael Stivic. Rob Reiner called Trump a fascist, said that he would turn America into an autocracy, and wanted to destroy the Constitution. That's what he said Trump wanted to do. He called Trump mentally unfit, unqualified to serve in office. The remarks have been never ending. He suggested Biden, or he supported Biden, and then joined the group of turncoats along with George Clooney and his gang, calling for President Biden to step down after they finally found out the guy was incompetent. They defended him to the end until that debate where they saw he just was incompetent. Then they asked him to step down. He held a fundraiser, Reiner, for Harris in their bid for presidency. And there was even speculation at one point he would run for governor of California. Rob Reiner claimed MAGA scum have already wrecked Blue Sky, another social media platform. Said he was checking into a facility for peace and relaxation after Trump got elected for the second time. That's right, he had to go into an institution. He was so mentally harmed by Trump getting elected. Seriously, this guy had TDS, just like Trump said in his statement. He said it was just a place that he could calm and heal his pain. He followed up with, now that America has elected a convicted felon with authoritarian proclivities, I fear that democracy's return won't be anytime soon. The long-term solutions are daunting. Democrats need to readopt the 50-state strategy, and most importantly, a competitive information distribution system must be built to combat the massive disinformation currently being fed to the American people. Well, I'll contest that. I'll say the disinformation campaign was run by the left. They continually told about Russia, Russia, Russia. They continually talked about the Steele dossier. They continually talked about Hunter's laptop and how they were all fake, set up. They're all fake, set up. Hillary was being set up. Everybody was being set up. But meanwhile, they were doing the exact thing to Trump that they said Trump was doing to them and the Republicans were doing to him. That's how they operate. Rob wasn't all there. Paranoid, disturbed, to the point he had to commit himself to an institution after Trump got elected. I mean, if you know, you know. He never held back his hate for Trump. And Trump released a statement on Reiner that told the truth about him. Trump referred to him as tortured and struggling, saying he was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession about President Donald J. Trump, saying that Reiner had passed away together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. And he went on to write, Trump, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Now, the left is going crazy over this. It's driven them to insanity. They're all freaking out in the media. And you know what? I get it, because they do have TDS and they hate Trump. For Trump to make any statement to them is outrageous. It's outrageous. But I'm looking going, hey, you know what? You know what? There are Republicans who are also doing that. Saying that he didn't have to say that. Let me tell you something. All you Republicans out there, all you right-wing people, conservative people, stop polishing your halo. Stop saying we're better than that. We're better than them. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. They've been doing this for 10 years. You think being nice is going to help them? That's the problem with the Republicans. They always try to have a halo over the head. We're better than them. We don't do stuff like that. Well, guess what? It's time that they started doing stuff like that. After 10 years, Trump had enough of it all, including Rob Reiner. I mean, because Rob Reiner died a horrible death doesn't absolve him from what he has said. His constant barrage of disparaging remarks towards Trump and his hatred towards Trump. Reiner encouraged Americans to speak out against the Trump administration, saying it's gotten to a very, very scary place in this country. There was no lost love between Reiner and Trump. Let's face that fact. And Trump knew that Reiner stood with the multitude of Hollywood big shots that vehemently spoke out against him. I mean, you know, things are going crazy. I mean, they're calling for impeachment now because of his comments on Truth Social. But they call for impeachment on a daily basis against Trump. It's never stopped for 10 years. I mean, the last call for impeachment was last week by Al Green of Texas. They got turned down, but there they are again. And somebody now is going to impeach Peter Hegseth. It never stops. You are going to see this kind of stuff from the Democrats for the next year till next November when we have the midterms. It's going to be week by week. Brownsville University killings. Trump is to blame. Rob Reiner, Trump. It's Trump's fault. Trump releases a statement. He's this, he's that. This is despicable. No, what was despicable is the left hammering Trump every day for 10 years. Let's face the fact, if Trump was assassinated in Butler, they would have been dancing in the streets. Some of them were dancing in the streets when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Celebrating. Believe me. Rob Reiner said when Rush Limbaugh died, he called him a purveyor of disinformation, saying that America must protect itself against guys like Rush Limbaugh. He called Limbaugh a liar, warning that other conservative media personalities are trying to deny climate change. He said, and I quote, "To protect our democracy, we must remain vigilant, calling out their big lies, starting with climate change." Oh, the people who are supposed to be tolerant. Mike Stivic, he's supposed to be tolerant of Archie. He's a liberal. He's supposed to be tolerant. We tolerate people's different views, their religions, their sex, their sexual persuasions. We tolerate them. Yet he didn't tolerate Archie Bunker for a second, and Rob Ryder never tolerated Trump for a second. Never gave him one bit of credit. He's being martyred right now by the left. He's been being martyred. Like they said we were doing with Charlie Kirk. Well, they're saying the same about we're saying the same about them now. They don't like that. They don't like that. Why does this hater suddenly deserve reverence? People are not celebrating his death. They're holding him accountable for his life. That's what's happening. This is why I'm not going to yield to these despicable people. They call us despicable. They call us the fringe minority. That halo, I'm not wearing it. These people who have hammered the conservatives their whole life without stop, including Rob Reiner, I'm not yielding to them. And neither is Trump. He's had it. We got to quit apologizing to these people that have spent the last decade ruining our country every day. Trudeau. We got to quit yielding to these people who support Trudeau. That's the problem. That's the problem. And it's never going to end until we put an end to it. We can't yield. We got to stand up. Trump gave his opinion, truthful and critical as it may have been. The left might not like it, and some of the right might not like it, but he's entitled to that opinion, whether you like it or not. And that's that. Speaking the truth is not hatred. Discernment is not cruelty. Criticism is not celebration. Nobody rejoices in death, but they will not surrender to the truth in death either. Judge not, lest ye be judged. May both Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle rest in peace. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Stay tuned. Okay, what do we got here? I've got a message. Let's see, a text here. Oh boy, it's a long one. Holy jeez. Okay. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, well, he's curious. This texter is curious about my position on amalgamation of fire services and fire dispatch services across Niagara. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I would have no problem with that. But I mean, amalgamation of services is great. What we need is amalgamation of cities so we can end duplication of services. If it was taken over by the region, the problem with that is that we've seen transit taken over by the region. We've seen the Niagara Regional Police taken over by the region. And every time we get something taken over, it costs us more. That's my concern. All levels of government need to reduce the number of people working for them. That's true. Since COVID, we've seen a huge increase in the number of people employed with the public service. That's true. We definitely need to contract government. Niagara has seen a 10% increase across all municipalities in the last several years. That's true. Not just Niagara Regional Police Services. Wait until you hear about Niagara Regional Transit increase, which has been 2 to 3 times the rate of inflation every year. That's true. These are all phenomenal statements here. Great idea regarding federal requests for funds. Bob Gale voted for the former police chief to be paid almost $1 million payout. His back to office position, which mirrors Ford's, will cost taxpayers dearly. Niagara Falls is one of the most expensive fire services across the country for a city the size of Niagara Falls. If you didn't know that, that's true. City of Hamilton amalgamated fire services and still maintain their volunteer program in rural areas. Well, I think volunteers are the key to this. There should be a total review of the fire department. I've said this many, many times because they make a lot more EMS calls than they do fire calls. Fire calls account for maybe 1%. 99% are EMS calls, emergency calls. So we should be hiring more emergency personnel at about half the price of a fireman and have volunteer firefighters make up any differences that we need. That's something that should be investigated that could save us $5 to $10 million. I've said that many times. And I know Jason Burgess is biting at the bit to get into this. He's hinted it many times. He wants to move dispatch. That's finally getting moved. But we need somebody to do it. It's great to sit here and talk about it, but 40 fire people pack this council, and council folds like a cheap suit on them. We need to do an audit. We need to find out exactly what we need. Amalgamation might do that. Amalgamation might do that. In addition, Dr. Marvin River noted amalgamation of fire services in Hamilton not only saved millions of dollars, but created many efficiencies. I saw him say that. He's right. City of St. Catharines services municipalities all across Ontario, and they do it well. We're talking about dispatch. That's where ours is going to go. We should be separating police and EMS. I agree with that. We should. What would be way costlier? Look at the cost to de-amalgamate the region appeal. It was off the charts expensive. Getting rid of a region would be really expensive. Your guest is saying only increase fire starter's salary by less than inflation. Arbitration would never allow that. Thanks for clarification. Makes sense to me if an arbitrator allows it. Great show, very entertaining and informative. Thanks. Not true that EMS would become fire after amalgamation. Didn't happen in Hamilton. Your comment about fire and percentage of medical calls is correct. Okay. It's the game upper and lower tiers play with one another, finger pointing on both sides. It's been lagging for many years. We get wastewater bill from city, but it is generated by the region. How much duplicated administration in the region? Lots, millions upon millions of dollars, 30, 40 million maybe. So, I mean, there's all good comments there. That was a big comment. I'm not sure who it was from. I don't recognize the number, but very, very good comments. And whoever did send that is very aware, was very aware of what's going on. Thank you very much for that, whoever it was. You can identify yourself. I'll tell your name on. If you want to rename anonymous, that's fantastic too. So with that, I'm ending the show as we're getting to 1 o'clock. I was going to get into Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was going to get into Terrace and the Turtle Island Liberation Front, running up for New Year's Eve in California, in Los Angeles. But we're not going to get to that today now. Wow, there's so much going on, just about a couple of subjects, right? Especially in the region. But we'll get to the rest of the stuff on Thursday. Tomorrow is Habsolutely. I'll be talking about the Habs. If you're a Habs fan, you're going to love it. If you're not, you probably won't listen. And that's okay, too. But it is a good show. I have a good time with Habsolutely. And we do talk about some other stuff, but mostly about the Habs. Thursday is Straight Talk Thursday. And then Friday, excuse me. Friday is the big Diamonds or Coal show, where we award diamonds or coal to city councilors. We put it in their stocking based on their performance over the last year. Let me tell you this. I got one diamond, and I got a whole truckload of coal sitting out front. That'll give you a little preview of what's coming. on Friday, December 19th. Dave Wheeler is going to be in the studio. Wheels is coming in. We're going to do the Diamonds Are Coal show on Friday. Do not miss it. Always a fun show. We have a laugh. And we award Diamonds Are Cool, the city council, and the mayor. And sometimes, if we have enough time, we even jump in guys like the Penguin, the Squirrel, Fu Manchu, Cheeto Bandito. We get them all in there. You got to tune in, though. You got to tune in. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Oh, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. We want to make sure we recognize them. They're good corporate citizens. They have a great product. We should support our small business in the city. We should support them, right? That makes sense. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. You've been listening to me, Paul K. Lemire, your city, your voice, 4680q.com, live at noon, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Absolutely on Wednesdays at noon. And if you don't catch the recorded show or the live show at noon on the radio, you can always watch the YouTube video that drops at around 3 every afternoon. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave comments. Subscribe. I'm at 198. I need 2 more to get to 200. If you have a business and you want me to talk about your business, you want to sponsor the show, give me a call. Contact me. I'd be glad to talk about your business and try to get you some business via the show every day. What else can I say? God bless you all. Enjoy the day. We might get a little bit of snow. I hope we don't. It's chilly out there. Dress warm. That's about it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your thumbs up. And I appreciate your texts on this little device right here. They make for a better show. We all know that. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye until Thursday. But if you're a Habs fan, goodbye until tomorrow. Christmas coming up. Exciting time of year.